Yes, it is the same short. Short? Yes, it's the same short as in me, and it's the same shirt, but I did wash it. I promise you I washed it because a week has passed, so that's it. Alrighty, hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and hopefully I'm updating this on the right time. It is Friday right now, and I'm recording this, and it is 1 p.m., so I finally have time to actually record and upload in a timely manner. And hopefully I'm going to be able to record multiple and have some backlog because I don't want to screw myself like I did before. Anyway, today I want to talk about something that I actually learned about myself. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail because it's not really client privilege or client whatever. Been taking a lot of coaching sessions with someone who is many steps ahead of me, many steps ahead of me. And it's not to say that I wouldn't take coaching from someone who is on my level, especially if they're in a field that I know very little about or am lacking and they dominate in that field. Yeah, I'd be totally fine taking coaching. Like, don't worry about, you can only take coaching from the highest level. That doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. There's always something that you can learn. I've talked about this before. There's always something that you can learn from somebody, on any level. There's stuff I learned from people that are, just starting out in my comment section. That happens quite a lot. There's a lot of times people go, why aren't you doing this? And I'm like, yeah, why aren't I doing that? Huh. So, it's totally relevant. But I wanted to talk about some stuff that I know I have problems with, and I really want to talk about being comfortable with those problems. Like, you need to know that you have issues with stuff, and you need to accept the fact that you have issues with things. And then, if you know how to pinpoint what it is you're needing help with, find someone who covers those fields, who can help you with that. And for me, it is literally calming down when doing a read. It is doing commercial narration and doing it in a much more down-to-earth, quiet, peaceful, calm manner. Y'all have watched my videos. I ramble. I talk really fast. I'm very high energy. I'm hyperactive. I was hyperactive as a kid. Still hyperactive. It's one of the things that makes it where it's very hard for me to focus on one thing for a long period of time. I'm always hopping between projects, and it takes a long time for me to finish one because I can never just sit there and focus on one. And it's a problem that I have. It's a problem that I'm always going to deal with, probably on some level. So I'm going to have to deal with on some level. But it's something that I'm very aware. Now, this has been a strength of mine, and I guess it's another thing that we could talk about is your weaknesses could be your strengths. And I'll try to work that in. I just only thought of bringing it up now. But for me, being hyperactive and being high energy and being able to talk fast and my mind racing and stuff like that has been really, really good when it comes to doing character work and doing animation and video game, that kind of stuff. Because a lot of times I get a lot of characters that are high energy, very fast, crazy, weird, silly, and a variety of ranges of personalities and stuff like that. And my hyperactivity, the way my brain is wired, makes it really, really easy for me to understand those characters, get in those moods. Even when it comes to a down-to-earth, very, somber character, it's still easy for me to get in that person's head. But one thing that I haven't really been able to pinpoint, except, recently, was doing commercial narration and why it was so hard for me. Now, I'm still and will always have a difficult time interpreting the copy when it comes to commercial reads. And part of that is going to be the dyslexia, because certain words that people put in descriptors don't have the same value to me. They don't have the same connotation. I don't visualize the exact same image that other people might by typing or putting down similar or the same words. It's just because of my dyslexia and how I've been detached from certain... I didn't do a lot of reading when I was younger, and only recently, basically after the age of 25, did I really start getting into reading and literature and writing. Before then, it was mostly, if it has to do with words, I'm pretty much going to avoid it. And that did a detriment to my education. So when I read a description of a personality or a type of feel for commercial narration, it's going to be more often than not the wrong interpretation. That's just one of the things that I've learned. And so it's very difficult for me to do that. However, when it comes to describing a character, because I was in acting basically from the age 6, and loved characters and memorized so many different kinds of characters and personalities, there's always a reference in my mind for when there's a description of a character. And the thing that really hampers me when it comes to commercial narration overall, and this is something that I learned very recently. In fact, I've known for a while, but only was able to pinpoint it by the help of a coach, which I'm not really going to say his name because I don't really want to talk about too many details, just in case, I'm not going to give away any of his secrets or any of things like that. I'm just talking about the stuff that I learned. But was the fact that I needed to calm down and I needed to lower my energy level, which literally, in order for me to do that, I was actually having to hold on to this stool that I actually have the mouse on, hold on to it because it's got a handle inside, lean into a more comfortable position, take multiple huge deep breaths, pause, and then hold myself back. Because my reading and my first of all, my reading level is, much slower, but my hyperactivity wants me to go faster. So that's why I'm always stumbling and tripping over words. It's just something that I learned, but I never really pinpointed it to commercial narration. And being able to calm down, take some breaths, and even though I was fighting it the whole time, going through a read in a much more paced manner, in a much more slow, clear, precise, calm manner was difficult, but from what he said was way better, was leaps and bounds better. And after thinking about it and listening back over it in my head, it was, I was like, okay, yes, I can see how this would be what the script meant. And that's just something that I've learned about myself, is that what a particular area an issue is. Now, not everyone going into voiceover is going to be ADHD, is going to have a reading disability, learning disability, improper education. So this video might not help everybody, but I'm sure that if you really truly analyze yourself, you may need a friend to help do this. You may need some coaching, like I did, to really figure out what areas you seriously and truly are lacking or need help in. Because all of us voice actors starting out are going to have to, start taking pretty much every single job in order to make enough money. We all want a very specific area. There's always that one area that we really truly want and we're best at. But when you first start out, you're going to have to kind of spread yourself a little thin. And you're going to have to basically audition for everything. And a lot of the stuff that you're probably not going to be comfortable with is still going to pay the bills. And you do want to at least be good at those areas. Not great and not be the best, and you'll probably still struggle, but you do want to at least be good at those areas, especially if you get an agent. If you get an agent, they're going to book you for whatever they can book you for. You don't really get to choose. They're going to be like, yeah, you're doing this. Do the audition. And that's great. That's fine. They're finding you auditions. That's what they need to do. But, you still have to be able to do them. You still got to be good at it, at least enough that you can not embarrass yourself in an audition and not look like an absolute, complete, total waste of time. Because it could be that they liked the audition, they liked the clarity, they thought you did well. It didn't fit. And so it's possible they could come back to you for something else, which happens to me a lot. Quite often, a client will come to me, they'll have an audition or they want a sample, I'll do it. Then they're like, it just didn't work, we went with someone else, totally fine. And I make sure that the interaction and the entire experience is pleasant, and I'm totally fine, doesn't hurt my feelings, totally get it. And quite often, at least lately, there's been lots more people coming back and going, hey, we spoke months ago, a year ago, whatever, and I know you didn't fit this project, but we have another project I'd like you to audition for. Or sometimes they just hand me, they're like, your style and your read was perfect for this. We're just going to go ahead and book you. That happens. And it always feels really good. And knowing my weaknesses and knowing the areas that I need help in is incredibly valuable. Absolutely. Don't be arrogant. Don't be arrogant. However, and this is another thing that I learned, and this is part of it. And it's not really something that I learned recently. This is something that I've known for a while, but it's very hard for me to tackle that. It's very hard for me to deal with a particular thing like this, and it is seeing myself as more valuable than I am. That's very, very hard for me. And this is deep-rooted family issues, family trauma. Not really trauma, but, no, not family trauma, but trauma in other areas where I was completely devalued or told that I was worthless, or people wanted me gone because they hated everything about me. And so it's good to be humble. And it's good to not be arrogant and be stuck up and be a prude. But if you're anything like me, don't consider yourself a piece of shit. Don't think of yourself as worthless and as a time waster and as just someone who is breathing air and has no value to the rest of the planet. That is something that, even though I'm not depressed about it anymore, and I don't hate myself, it is very hard for me to look at a project and think, yeah, I can do that. I'm worth it. I can accomplish this. My skills are at that level. Most of the time I'm gambling. Most of the time I feel like I'm just, maybe they'll like it. That's kind of how I do. And that's also part of it. That's also part of the, not having confidence. And, if there's any flaw that I have, me weighing the flaw way more than my strengths. And fortunately, actually, you know what? I'll probably say who I've been getting coaching with, because he's a great guy. If anyone's looking for him or looking for a coach, he's someone that I would recommend. I got to pull up his name because I want to make sure I get this right. I don't want to. Okay, Orion Acaba. OrionAcaba. And he's actually someone that a friend of mine recommended. And I've gone through multiple coaches. One of my favorites was Horowitz. I can't remember his first name right now. I want to say Michael. It's not Michael. But he was awesome. I'm terrible with names, okay? I don't want anyone getting at me. I am terrible with names. And again, it is another thing where words didn't have the same value as people. Like, if you asked me to draw their face, I could probably draw their face. I could probably give me a sketch artist and he's like, describe this person. I'd give a pretty accurate description. But when it comes to people's names, it wasn't nearly as valuable, especially when it was in written form. So it's more things that I'm working with, more things I'm struggling with, which is what this video is about. Knowing the problems that I have, knowing the things that I need to work on, and working on them. And again, it's going to take time. It's going to be like pulling teeth. You're going to have to hold yourself down, which is what I told him. That doing that, it literally felt like I was, I was like the wolf man, and there's a full moon. I got to like lock myself in a closet, tie myself down so I don't hurt anybody. That's what it feels like when I slow down my speech pattern, when I slow down my rhythm and take my time with something. That's what it feels like. But I know that I have those issues. I know that this is stuff that I need to work on. And knowing that, obviously, is half the battle. That's an old cliche phrase. But also, I'm always looking for stuff to fix, to work on, to develop. And knowing this gives me an idea of what it is I need to work on. And so there's always something for me to do. There's always something. I'm always active. I'm never just sitting there, sitting still. Because even if it's just working out stuff in my mind, I'm still doing something. So anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Totally fine. Subscribe if you're new. Bell for notifications, and leave down in the comment section below if, ask me other questions, talk about any issues. And, if you guys want to coach, go visit Orion. And, I would say tell him I sent you, but I don't know. Maybe he hates me. Maybe he's like, oh, no, God, not him. Oh, like he's putting on a front of her face. That'd be funny. I would laugh, actually, if that was the case. And he's like, oh, God, no. But, anytime I think of any good coaches, I think they're worth a shout-out. So, yeah, there you go. And don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, peace.